In Indian Hill, Loveland wish to make a special note that sportsmanship is always an integral part of all athletic events. Indian Hill and Loveland require all.
Coverage of tonight's game on the Indian Hill Television Network is a presentation of the Indian Hill High School Video Department. The Video Department provides the community with educational and school-focused programming through the facilities of the ICRC. The Indian Hill Television Network
Good evening, everyone. Live from Indian Hill Stadium. Time for Indian Hill basketball. I'm Tony Harris here with Brian Shaw, broadcasting the Indian Hill Loveland basketball game tonight.
So you're kind of choked up, I know.
Well, anytime I'm with you, Brian, I get choked up.
I do make him a little nervous, and Tony waving to one of the referees from the freshman and JV game. Mr. Clements coming up here.
It's always nice to make nice with the refs.
Amazing situation with him. Fill the people in on his
Tom Clements has been reffing around this area for a long time. Varsity JV freshman. Rick Basketball had a stroke a couple weeks ago, and had a game up in Fairfield, and 10 days later, after a hospital stint and cleaning out some arteries, he was back refereeing again. So really a dedicated professional, Tom Clements.
Yeah, it's great to see him back, and he having fun. You can tell he really loves to do it. Had him today for the freshman game, and good news is the kids from Indian Hill didn't put him on the spot by having a really tight one. Indian Hill able to get that one by about 20, and then Loveland comes back and wins the JV game. So here we go with the nightcap, the rubber match, so to speak.
Yeah, this should be a great game tonight. Both teams, Loveland is 11-6 on the year, 7-3 in their league, and playing very well. Indian Hill's 12-5 overall, 8-3 in the CHL.
Number 1,
Wyatt Walks, one of the starters here for Indian Hill, is being announced. Trey Lopez. Bouncing Benny Bader. Jalen Thornton.
Is that Jalen Thornton?
That's Jalen, I believe.
That's Jalen
tonight, yeah.
Thornton. We're going to play a little brotherly love
and
later on tonight.
Johnny Baltimore.
And don't forget the hype man, the guy that was getting them all prepped, Sam Richardson. Tony, there's no question about it. If there's anything we can say transfers to the next level, in the college game, it's Sam Richardson being a rush chairman. That's about the only thing we know for sure. I'm sure Jalen will be a good football player, or Ty, or whatever you want to call him, and I'm sure Johnny Baltimore will tear it up at Wheaton. But I know for certain Sam Richardson is going to make one heck of a rush chairman.
We all have different skills.
Tony, it's interesting. You look out on the floor for this Loveland team and just the number of guys that they have that are 6'3", 6'4", really athletic, really good-looking basketball or volleyball team.
That's Jalen Greiser with the miss and Johnny Baltimore with the tip get the rebound.
Yeah, the main thing you first see is Trey Lopez doing a good job getting into him and making it a contested shot. It's a team that likes to shoot the ball in Loveland.
Greiser, number 13, is a really, really good outside shooter and 6'3". And Trey Lopez, all of 5'10", guarding him there on that. And Johnny Baltimore with a long range shot.
And that's your man, the 90-mile-an-hour fastball. What I would like to call Jimmy Chitwood out there guarding Johnny Baltimore. Chitwood returning the favor.
That's Trip Willis. Trip Willis, a terrific baseball player for the Loveland Tigers, can throw almost 90 miles an hour and hasn't decided where he's going to go to college next year, but returning Johnny Baltimore's three with one of his own.
And about 30 years late in the casting for Hoosiers. We were out there, Tony, as you know, playing Goshen out there, and so everybody's still got Hoosiers on the mind.
Ben Bader with a nice feed to Jalen Thornton. Missed, and Jalen back with his own rebounding.
Yeah, one of the things you love about Jalen Thornton is he just does everything solid. He doesn't rush.
He forced the turnover there. A walk by Matt Toigo.
Yeah, Toigo, another one of these really athletic, long players.
Well, Loveland's top three scorers are also their top three rebounders. It's Greiser at 6'3", Toigo about 6'3", and Willis about 6'3". Those are the three dangerous guys to watch on the boards and as far as making baskets. Trey Lopez. It's been the
one thing for Trey, really important if he's going to take that assignment with Greiser, not to pick up fouls at parts of the floor where it's not helpful.
That's tough when Trey goes in there. As you mentioned, there are a lot of 6'3" guys for Loveland, and it's tough for Trey to get his shot off.
Yeah, Trey's a competitor. Trey is going to pick up some fouls tonight doing the job defensively, but just important where those happen. One of the things you'll see with Cox, one of the few guys that really likes to go to the basket and likes contact for Loveland. He had 12 points last night against Turpin, and he's a handful. A lot of two-point shots. Not a guy that's going to step away and shoot from distance as much.
And finished the three-point play. It's Ian Cox, a junior there for Loveland, and wholesale substitutions here for Loveland is Cox, Willis, and Toigo all are replaced.
Yeah, Soth, you see four up, matched up against Thornton. A big kid, thick, but not an overly physical kid. Rubio, 14, I really like. He doesn't play a lot, but, man, I saw him against Northwest, Tony, on Tuesday night. I really like him.
Baltimore with another three.
Yeah, one of the things you notice about this Loveland man defense, a lot of sagging. They really try to cut off that dribble penetration, sometimes get caught away from the ball handler, away from the ball, and shots are available.
Jalen Thornton with a rebound out to Wyatt Walks.
Look at how deep they are in the gaps. They do not want to give up dribble penetration.
Wyatt Walks to Baltimore. Benny Bader.
That's going to be open all night.
Wyatt Walks.
Wyatt Walks, we talked about it all year for a sophomore. He is in no hurry, completely under control. And that's a guy that gets shots from everywhere. About half his shots this year have come from the three-point line, but he's very comfortable, shooting almost 60% inside the arc.
He's got the highest field goal percentage on the Braves. Great pass from Ben Bader to Walks, off to Thornton, and he's fouled. Nicely set up by Ben Bader, and Walks returns the favor to Thornton.
Yeah, Walks, here he is. He's about to come down with the basketball. Just no panic in him. Just hands that to Jalen. Jalen not moving too fast. Both guys under control. Love to watch them play.
Thornton nails his free throw.
Yeah, Jalen, one of the inspirations for the segment tonight between quarters called Brotherly Love. Tony, of course, a native of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Indian Hill blessed to have a lot of different combinations of brothers, including two tonight, Tony, that I think could be termed identical twins. Trey and Mateo Lopez, although they're a year apart, both shooting 41.9% from the three.
Same number of attempts, same number made. Thornton makes both free throws, which is unusual. That's one of the weaknesses in his game. He's a 47% free throw shooter on the year, and he nails both of them there. Good omen. It's Brennan Faust. It's Joey Chitwood. Trip Willis.
You know, Tony, one of the things you see about this Loveland team, you think about them in years past. Toigo almost looked like he thought there was a shot clock. One of the things you see that's different, this had been, with the coach coming from Mason, this had been a heavy flex team. You don't really see that quite as much. I think a style the kids like a lot more right now.
Brennan Faust, and it's off. Trey Lopez with the rebound, and we're off to the races. The Baltimore Bullet.
Yeah, Johnny Baltimore can change a game in a hurry, starting off hot from three. Speaking of Johnny, I'd like to say hello to the grandparents, Michigan and Puerto Rico. Talk about people having a different time of year weather-wise.
I think they're going to nail Trey here with a foul.
Yeah, that's, Tony, that's one we talked about. Where you get those fouls on the floor.
Yeah.
Trey, weak side, battling against Greiser.
And Greiser's their leading scorer. They want to give him the ball, and Trey is giving up about 5 inches.
Yeah, and Trey, one of the most competitive kids on this Indian Hill team. That's a loss. That's a loss. Don't want to get the fouls in that situation. And you can see the difference right away. Trey off the floor. They go right to it. Great job by Loveland. Speaking of brothers,
Mr. Lewis.
Mr. Lewis with one older than him that's played and one younger. Lewis family's done a great job here for the people at Indian Hill.
Well, one thing that most of the Indian Hill people are, you don't have another son. Your
I gave all I could, Tony. I gave all I could.
Colin is thriving in college, and his team won another big game today. And you have a beautiful daughter in Megan, but boy, Indian Hill wish you had another son as well.
It's a lot of fun. I tell you, if you go through it once, you really appreciate it. I go through it 3 times or 6 times like Joey Fiore did. That's amazing.
And Bader and
twice for you, Tony. Chandler, a player here at Indian Hill. Trevor, also a player here at Indian Hill, now at Madeira.
And we've got Johnny Baltima and Ben Bader taking Wyatt Walks and Ben Bader taking a blow, and Trey Lopez coming back in.
Yeah, Colton Brewer also in for the Braves. Colton has done a phenomenal job. You know, you talk about having a role and keeping things simple. The minutes that Colton Brewer has given this team this year have been really invaluable.
There's Ian Cox up, and Trey gets a piece of it. Coming down, waiting for everybody else to join him. A little traveling music, unfortunately, there on Jalen. Jalen Thornton, the West Virginia football commit, nice enough to join the Braves and holds down the center for him. A real enforcer, shot blocker, rebounder, and just a terrific teammate.
Yeah, I think everybody thankful that being a senior and a football signee, that he's back here competing in the winter with this Braves basketball team.
Alex Soth. Toigo with a miss.
Consummate teammate.
On the football field, Thornton doesn't have too many limitations. In basketball, he does, and he knows what they are. Great play What a great hustle there.
Yeah, Trey Lopez just doesn't give you anything easy, does he, Tony?
Remember Slick Watts?
Yeah, I do.
He's so smooth and so slick. That's Trey Lopez. We're going to call foul on Thornton for setting a nice pick. Well,
it's interesting. Jalen Thornton, looking at numbers, I think averaging somewhere around 4 fouls a game. All the fouls come in situations trying to help a teammate. Screening, loose balls, possession, things of that nature. And truly, sometimes on these screens, Tony, I really think it's how kids use the screen. Not necessarily the screener. Sometimes if you don't use the screen properly, you can lead to a foul for your teammate.
Trip Willis to Trip Towie. Figure if you have 2 trips, you might have a traveling call, right? Trey Lopez tunneling through and making another layup. Alex Soth, and it's off. And Lopez with a tie-up. Another great hustle play by Trey Lopez.
It's always interesting, Tony, to see a number of players that respond to Trey Lopez's competitive nature. Basketball is a game where I think it's easy to kind of get emotional. Trey Lopez has done a great job this year of not being the emotional person.
I think he led the league last year in technical fouls, which is not something you want to lead the league in, and he's playing much more under control and with great composure.
Yeah, Trey's setting himself up for a senior year where he really is going to be the leader of this program.
Braves holding for one shot here with 15 seconds left. Got it in Benny Bader's hands.
Yeah, let's say hello to Benny Bader's family down in West Palm Beach.
And the Braves will get it under the basket with 1.5 seconds left.
Braves trying to end this quarter the way it began with a Baltimore 3.
That was a rushed one, but John hit his first 3 threes today. He leads the game with 9 points, and the Braves hold a 17-10 lead here at the end of the first quarter. It's Trey Lopez, great defense and tenacity, which you expect, and Johnny hitting his first few threes. Johnny's really changed his game. Last year he was strictly a 3-point shooter and really didn't get into rebounding and driving quite as much. He's upped his rebound total from an average of 5 a game to 7, and he's cut down on the percentage of shots that he takes from 3. Last year he was at 48%. This year he's down to 33%. So he's using the whole court, doing a lot more and helping his team and being a leader and a captain that he is.
Yeah, Johnny just continues to get better and better, and I think you're going to see that over the next 4 years at Wheaton. Say hello to all the guys up at Wheaton, and I'm sure checking in on Johnny tonight. His game is just going to keep getting better and better, and the great thing about it is a lot of it's going to go from the outside in. It's really hard to get guys to go from the inside out, but boy, the outside in, you think about the simple things for Johnny and how that's going to add to his game and how much stronger he's going to get. The sky's the limit for this guy. And he wears number 44, so you got to love that.
Brennan Faust there with the ball setting up the Loveland offense.
Great defense right there.
Beautiful pass back to Faust.
Yeah.
Nice little 2-man game there.
Yeah, Johnny with a great job moving his feet, cutting off the baseline.
Off. And who else? Nice play by Walks, and Lopez picks it up. And
very nice.
Bouncing Benny Bader.
How about Wyatt Walks taking that
Great
ball
pass.
with the left hand into the baseline? He knew he was drawing that help, took that guy up away from Ben Bader, and he steps in. So much better to step into a 3 rather than catch the ball on the side and try to square up and shoot it. Anytime you can get that, you're probably 15 percentage points better.
Trip Willis with a miss and Lopez off. This will be interesting. Two really quick guys at each other right now. Faust does a nice job defensively stopping Lopez.
Yeah, great job by Faust. And there you see the length.
Lopez with a block coming from behind. That Brenton Faust is super quick, and he and Lopez, this should be a nice little track meet between the two of them tonight.
Yeah, you see the quickness of Faust on that to get back and just how solid he was and strong in the lane. And then Trip Willis to get out there and contest with Johnny Baltimore, the length to do it.
It's Greisner, the leading scorer for Loveland. And Lopez commits his second. Trey's playing so well. It's two fouls. It's very unfortunate. And the other half of the Thornton duo coming in. This is Ty Thornton, a freshman for the Braves. And Lopez is going to have to take a seat for most of the rest of the half, it looks like.
Tony, you know that feeling. You get a call from a child that's out of town. Colin Shaw calling from Philadelphia.
Well, Colin Shaw
had to take that one.
He had 8 points today and a big win by Swarthmore. And the Swarthmore Garnet ranked 16th in the country this week. And Indian Hill's finest, Colin Shaw, a major part of it.
So you got Bader, you got Baltimore, you got Wachs, and the two Thorntons on the floor together. We've had the Eichholz boys on the floor together.
Yep.
We've had the Fioris on the floor together.
And we
Lopez boys on the floor together.
Jalen Thornton being aggressive going after it. Nice job, and he gets a foul on Greisner.
Yeah, Jalen Thornton, really high IQ from a basketball standpoint. Knows exactly what he wants to do with the ball, how he wants to set it up, and not rushing. I mean, I can't say it enough, just the patience that he shows in the tempo of this game. It's a beautiful thing. Getting a little bit of a look at the backcourt of the future here with Ty Thornton and Wyatt Wachs out there together.
Yep.
This Braves team is loaded. You look really that sophomore class, freshman class, all the way down to 7th grade.
Ty Thornton with a rebound there.
That's his spot.
Ty Thornton with another offensive rebound. Pulled off by Brenton Faust. There's Greiser. Well, it's Matt Toygo there with the offensive rebound. So a lot of offensive rebounds here on both teams. Not a great job boxing out by either club. Jalen Thornton trying to get the ball to his brother. Nobody open.
Yeah, it's funny, the older brother talking to the younger brother, asking him to move. And it's something I've found interesting the entire year looking at these guys. You know, Johnny Baltimore plays basketball year-round. Ben Bader used to play basketball year-round. Wyatt Wachs does the same. Same thing with Ty Thornton. And Jalen Thornton really has a sensibility about this game. While he's doing football camps and other things in the summer, boy, I tell you what, when wintertime comes, he has a real good feel for this game mentally.
Foul called on, is that Greiser?
Been an interesting freshman year for Ty Thornton.
That's Greiser's second foul. Again, he's Loveland's leading scorer and rebounder, so he goes to the bench with 2.
Yeah. Yeah, Ty Thornton bringing this Braves backcourt some length and some athleticism.
There's Mr. Rubio, number 14, coming in, a gentleman you referred to a little bit earlier.
I really like him. Speaking of brothers, brother of Ricky Rubio. They miss him in Minnesota, I can tell you that. How about that team? I like watching them. You ever watch Utah Jazz? Rubio and They've just got such smart kids. Mitchell, smart coach out there. Quinn Schneider.
Trip Willis. Toigo.
Really great cut right there.
There's Trip Talley with the miss, and the Braves come off with it. Ben Bader. And both teams have gotten a little cold.
Yeah, good hands there by Wyatt Walks to avoid another transition opportunity.
They call a foul on Baltimore. That's Johnny's second.
Trip Willis showing us a little something there going to the basket. I like that. Put some pressure on these guys. Josh Young checked in for the Braves, number 21.
And Baltimore to the bench. It's going to
I'd like
hurt
to say
the Braves.
hello to Josh's grandma up in northeastern Ohio, the Hudson area.
Great recovery by Jalen Thornton. The Braves get the ball. Ben Bader.
Ben Bader doing a nice job catching the ball and shooting in rhythm, not second guessing. Really hard to shoot the ball if you think about it.
Toigo with him.
Braves get a stop there. You know, I think the key to that, Tony, Jalen Thornton just staying on his feet, not jumping, not trying to contest, content to wall up on Faust, and really started that whole thing off.
Hit it, Benny. No arc. Toigo with a miss. Oh.
Good effort there by the Braves.
Thornton and Young, don't fight, boys.
Yeah.
They, both aggressively going after the ball.
Good effort. Love to see that.
The Braves up 7 with 2 starters on the bench with 2 fouls.
You know, Ty, just I guess, you know, another one of these guys, Tony, that comes from the football program to basketball, and you can see it. The physical nature of his play, the competitive nature of it. Guys like he and Trey Lopez makes a big difference. Braves always hold their breath through football season, wanting to get those guys in the gym. I always feel like they're a little bit late, but boy, the value you get, particularly this time of the year, tremendous.
Josh Young thought about it. Nice pass to Ben Bader.
Right now, looking at Ben Bader, there's a great opportunity for Ben to go at an angle toward the next defender. Put him next to Johnny Baltimore, put him next to Wyatt Walks, put him next to Ty Thornton, and drive in the gap toward their defender and kick for an easy 3. Guys catching the ball on the 3-point line. With these guys and their help and the way they sag, be all you could eat.
With 2 starters out, I think the Braves will be content to take the last shot here. Not that they will, but Ian Cox with a miss.
Love that kid's game. Love how he goes to the basket.
Walks with the rebound and Bader with the ball.
He'll show you the ball, Tony, and he'll go right to the basket. One thing I do concern when you pass for the length of time the Braves did in the last possession. is just the ability to hold on to the basketball and not turn it over. I think this is a different scenario here, 45 seconds left.
Colton Brewer. Oh. And he gets fouled.
Yep.
It's a foul on Alex Soth. And he's shooting 2 shots.
You know, Tony, it's really a testament to Colton Brewer and his game as a senior. Seemingly every time he's on the floor, he contributes something.
Now there's a point right there. And that's Soth's 3rd foul. So he's coming out, and Loveland has quite a few substitutions. They have a nice rotation, about 8 guys, so they're always moving guys around. But Soth with 3 fouls is going to be saddled there for a while.
Yeah, Faust and Hedgepeth, really the 2 guys that kind of distinguish themselves. Ball handlers, guys that can penetrate. I guess you'd add Cox into that as well. But the rest of these guys, these other of the 8 that you speak of, Sam Richardson.
There's
there
a rush
nice
chairman.
Steal. It's another guy. You know, Sam Richardson's been on the floor for all of about 10 seconds, and he's got us a possession. And a bucket.
Oh. Jump ball. And it's Loveland ball here. So at least the Braves will get it to start the 3rd quarter, but with 5.8 seconds left and the Braves up 8, Loveland has possession.
Oh.
That's Toigo with a great pass, receiving a great pass and making a basket at the buzzer, and obviously somebody missed an assignment there. So
Tough way to end a half, Tony. Tough way to end
the Braves are playing well, and with 2 guys on the bench, an 8-point lead would have been great. They'll have to settle for a 6. As long as at the end of the game we got 1 more than Loveland, it's a good thing. But the Braves up 24-18. Baltimore with 9 points leads the Braves. Ben Bader with 6, also as second there, and Loveland scoring is pretty even. I think 4 points there for Toigo, and let's see. They've got an awful lot of guys in the 3 and 4 range, but
seniors doing a great job here tonight for Indian Hill, the way it should be. Colton Brewer's played well. Sam Richardson gets in for a limited time and comes up with a big turnover. Senior class tonight for Indian Hill, led by Johnny Baltum and Ben Bader. Looks like we're going to take a look at a few replays here, Tony. The Indian Hill production group will find things that are of interest from the first half. There you see Wyatt Walks. Again, we talk about how under control he is, shooting about 60% inside the arc.
And he walks like an Egyptian.
Johnny Baltum, a hot all first half. Trey Lopez able to get anywhere he wants. Trey Lopez can really carve you up as a defense. Even in those gaps, I mean, it's a team that does not want to give up the penetration. Johnny Baltimore, great job blocking the baseline, but that's nice offense, backdoor cut.
Faust to Willis to Faust.
There you see Benny Bader, Wyatt Walks with a great pass to Ben in the corner. Yeah, Braves really have taken control for the most part in this game.
Now, both teams played last night, and the Braves, won. They beat Taylor, and Loveland lost to Turpin in a tough game. So both teams could be a little bit tired from playing back-to-back nights. You don't do that a whole lot in high school.
No, and totally different games. The Braves had a pretty comfortable lead for much of the game out at Taylor, while Loveland was chasing Turpin in their game, and it takes a bite out of you, but hey, they're all 16, 17, 18 years old.
Yeah, that was a tough loss for Loveland.
Yeah, Loveland and Indian Hill played. Indian Hill plays that ECC quite a bit. Played a lot of common opponents. You look at it, West Claremont, I believe. Hey, Ed Elf. Hey, if we need a boat, where do we go?
Sea Ray in Cincinnati.
Yes, sir. I saw your brother, by the way. I hope he feels better. Got that bad wheel. Playing basketball as an old man, it'll do that. We're on now. Tell Duke I said hello.
The common opponents in the ECC.
Yeah, I mean, West Claremont comes here, and the Braves really played well.
Yeah. And Loveland lost a heartbreaker in overtime to them. Had the lead late in the fourth quarter, and West Claremont made a charge, tied it up, and it went to overtime, and they lost. They play again the last game of the season, I believe.
Yep.
And then both teams have played Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson having a tough year right now.
Great athletic director, but the basketball program's suffering.
Yep. Braves got him early in the year. I think Loveland might have already beaten him twice. And then Turpin. Of course, the Braves tied through 3 quarters out at Turpin early in the year. And Turpin able to pull away at the end of that ball game. But Turpin, a good team.
Well, Loveland and Indian Hill have a long history. They play each other every year. It's been a very, very good rivalry. Loveland, many years ago, Brian, back when you were on your teeter-totter, Loveland was in the CHL.
Yes, they were.
And they were rivals then. And the last 6 years alone, Loveland had a 4-game winning streak. They beat the Braves 4 consecutive years, and then the last 2 years, the Colin Shaw and Marco Fiore show helped pull the Braves out, and the Braves have won the last 2 games and trying to make it 3 in a row here.
All right, there's a kid on the floor. We're going to play Brotherly Love with Tony Harris, a Philadelphia native. It's a guy out on the floor right now wearing Colin's old number. His brother won a game with back-to-back threes. I'm going to give you 3 teams. Was it?
We're back.
I can. How's that sound? How's that sound? Can you hear me?
I think we're back.
Tony, was it Wyoming? Was it Marymount? Or was it Madeira?
Brian Lewis was wearing number 5, and his older brother Brad Lewis had 2 big 3-pointers against Madeira 3 years ago, senior year. Nick Heidel was out and needed somebody to pick the team up, and the senior came in and hit a 3 with 1 minute and 3 seconds left in the game to tie it, and then hit another one with about 12 seconds left in the game to win it. That was one of the more exciting games ever here, I think, in this gym.
Tony rising to the challenge and saying, you must have something better than that. I do. The Fiores had 6 young men play basketball here at Indian Hill. Can you name all 6?
Yes. There's Joe, Michael, Jordan, Jacob, Mateo, and Marco.
Man, that's solid. That is solid. You know,
I pay attention, Brian, during the games.
Tony,
I don't talk to people like you. I'm watching the game. I'm focused.
Well, that's good. That's good. And you needed every bit of that focus for that one. Joey Fiore and Christina, somehow Joey gets home from the hospital and says, you know, after having a son by the name of Michael, the next son that's born, he gets home, he says, Christina, what do you think about the name Jordan? And she says, you know what, that's a beautiful name. That's good. Back-to-back Michael and Jordan. What a basketball man he is. That's a commitment.
Well, when you have 6 boys, you got a lot of choices there.
Right.
You got a lot of options.
There's a pair of brothers that are on the Indian Hill all-time three-point list for a career. Do you know which brothers they are and the first name of each?
Would Ennis be one?
It would be both.
Oh, all right. Is that Steve and Mike?
Steve and Mike. Absolutely. And I don't know that the Ennises would be watching down in Florida at the Villages, or Uncle Ennis up in New Hampshire. It's probably at a Brewster Academy game. It's a lot up and down with that team. But they would probably love that.
Well, they're Mike's nephew and Steve's son, Garrett, brought us a lot of pleasure over the years. He's thriving at Purdue University right now. Just graduated last year from Indian Hill. What a terrific kid and a really fine athlete he is.
We're going to get into some Bone Kemper trivia. and we're going to get into, I'm trying to think of some of these other
the Braves start out with the ball. And the same starting five for both teams. Braves have Wyatt Wachs and Ben Bader in the backcourt, big Jalen Thornton and Trey Lopez and Johnny Bolton.
One of the things that truly makes it enjoyable. I mean, you think about it over in Madeira with the Megis family, and you know, Wyoming with the Marty family and the Rogers family and the Edmonds family. It really makes this a lot of fun.
Well, Wyoming has even more of those. They just mentioned that. Boy, they had the Martys and the Edmonds and
the Prathers.
It's like Noah's Ark. They all come in twos.
Speaking of which,
almost a three.
Speaking of which, Randy Church is in the building tonight. I see him over there.
Mateo Lopez driving hard and is fouled by Brenton Faust.
He's got a jumbo pretzel in one hand.
And that's Faust's first foul.
I think he's got a slushie in the other hand.
Beautiful. Great pass by Ben Bader to Mr. Lopez for two for the Braves. Timeout for Loveland, and he's not very pleased with his team. That's Rob Reese, the Loveland coach. This is his fourth year at Loveland. He's done a really, really nice job with the program. He was a former assistant at Mason prior to that, and he's done a really, really nice job. You can see he's got that boot on. He had a little problem. His son's scooter around Christmas. He fell off his son's scooter trying to show him how to use it. So he's a better coach than he is a playmate. But he's getting by. But Loveland last year was 5-18, and you mentioned this year they're 11-7, and he obviously has brought these kids along, and they're doing very, very well, and we hope they have a lot of success after tonight.
Speaking of the Boudin brothers, Tony, basketball-playing brothers, which two Indian Hill brothers were in a boot at the same time this year? The answer to that would be Charlie and Jake Summerall.
No. There's big Jalen Thornton. And he's going to the free throw line now for 2 more shots. This will be his 5th and 6th free throws of the game, and we still have just over 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Jalen doesn't usually look for his own shot. He's more of a distributor and a rebounder and a defender, but looking to get inside and flex those muscles. And he's got them.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think with him, whatever the game presents is what Jalen's going to do. It's funny, you talk about Jalen putting the ball on the floor and going to the basket. There was a game earlier this year against Goshen where I think 3 or 4 times in that game he put the ball on the floor and went to the basket. If the opportunity's there, he's going to do it.
They're fouling Ben Bader. And that's Ben's first.
That's okay. It's okay. Ben is going to have to be physical with Greiser to keep him from getting to places on the floor that are advantageous like this.
There's another foul. Yeah. Ben's got 2. Greiser, has several inches. Ben's, 5'10", 5'11", and Greiser is 6'3".
Yeah.
And Greiser can go with both inside and outside, kind of like Baltimore.
And now they're going to switch back with Lopez on him. It's a nice play they run there. Indian Hill kids will stand under the basket to cut away or take away the cuts to the basket on the inbound, throw it to the corner, step in, and you're already in great post position with your defender standing underneath the basket. Great recognition by Loveland on consecutive inbounds.
Johnny B. Now let's see if they go back to it. There's Greiser now. He goes inside, now he goes outside. And he's heating up a little bit. He's up to 9 points, and obviously that's 5 of them in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, Northwest did a really good job Tuesday night against these guys, getting into them early and getting a hand up, make them put it on the floor or pass it.
And Wyatt walks with a miss, and Trip Willis.
Dangerous little time here for Indian Hill. They're going to call a timeout, trying to match scores and threes, and right now on the defensive end.
Loveland's got 8 points on their last 3 possessions and finding the open man. This is a critical part of the game. Braves had opened up a 9-point lead. Now it's down to 3.
Tony, let me ask you, who do you like tomorrow? Who you think's going to win? Doesn't matter to anybody because nobody knows. But who do you want to win? Who are you rooting for, and why are you rooting for them?
It's tough to root for New England. It's tough to root for Goliath. And the Rams have some local flavor in their head coach and Andrew Whitworth. So.
Tony, I'm trying to think of the old owner of the Rams, Georgia. Was it Frontiere?
Frontiere, yeah.
I always loved the quote by Deion Sanders. He met one of the owners. I don't think it was her. He said when he talked to them, they could smell money on their breath.
Johnny Baltimore comes outside and knocks down a 3. He's got 14 points now for the Braves. That's his 4th 3, and little hiccup there. Faust throws the ball to Willis, who wasn't looking. So Braves get the ball back, and nice little turn of events. If the Braves can score here, that helps stem that tie from that quick Loveland burst. Johnny B.
Jalen Thornton.
They're going to call foul.
Tell you what, Trip Willis earned that foul.
When Jalen hits you,
you stay hit.
On the football field, they don't call foul on that, but he hits a lot of people. That was tough. Now Jalen's got 2 fouls.
As a man's rebound, love that. 2 hands going back up with it. Well, unfortunate with the foul, but we'll take that play every day.
Greiser.
Yeah, Braves now 3rd different player in the last few minutes. It was Bader, it was Lopez. It's now Thornton. And really, Greiser's showing you the intelligence that he has, depending on who's guarding him. If it's Thornton, he's going to go away from the basket. If it's Bader, he's going to back him down.
Travel. Now the Braves playing with 4 starters with 2 fouls, but we're a little bit more than halfway through the third quarter.
Yep. Yeah, I think you were saying that Greiser's potentially headed to Marietta.
He's going to Marietta to play basketball, and you can see he could have a nice little career there.
Pioneers with a great program.
Ian Cox. The Loveland's battle back to tie it, and Braves call timeout.
Brand new ball game, Tony. One thing I think you have to be concerned about is just you look at the body language of this Loveland team. Really the first time I've seen them with energy all Tuesday night and then tonight. A team that when they get down, I don't profess to know anything about the culture, what's going on there, but it just seems to me that when they get down, there's quite a bit of yelling, there's quite a bit of challenging going on, and the kids don't always seem to respond with their head up. But I tell you what, I saw a different thing at that timeout, a team that had a lot of energy.
They're rotating 9 players. All 9 have played significant minutes so far, so they might be a little fresher than the Braves right now. And they've got Mateo Lopez just came into the game for the first time. And we've got the Lopez brothers are in together.
One of the things I think from here on out, I know we got 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter and 3 minutes here. Johnny Baltimore getting the ball at different places on the floor, I think is going to be important.
Now Mateo Lopez's first touch of the game is a 3-point attempt. And we have a Josh Young coming in and Jalen Thornton taking a rest.
If the Braves get the ball to Baltimore in the lane, in the short corner, out at the 3-point line, I think they're going to be better off.
Well, Lopez is guarding Greiser now. He's going to take a shot at him, and we'll see if they go back inside with him. Greiser drives in and gets fouled.
Yeah, Greiser looks like he's 100% back from that ankle injury.
This is on Josh Young.
Greiser about 10 days ago in practice with a rolled ankle.
He's had a few injuries he's battled through. This is the first one. He's started since his sophomore year, but he's had injuries that have kept him out. He's got about 700 points already scored in his career. It's a shame that the injuries curtailed him because he could be pushing 1,000 if he had been healthy all that time. Nice player.
Like Ted Williams with the 521 home runs, Tony. Yeah, you think about the other thing is as balanced as this team is, Tony, amazing to be able to put up those kind of numbers, even if you're not hurt.
Mateo Lopez with a miss, and Loveland comes back. It's Gabe Rubio. Backing down Bader, and wow. Back out to Trev Willis.
Yeah, Rubio, really looking at it, hasn't played as much as I would have expected. Very good looking player, does a lot of different things, both ends of the floor.
That's a foul there on Gabe Rubio, pushing Josh Young out of bounds. Well, Mateo Lopez has touched the ball 3 times and taken 3 shots. Unfortunately, come up empty.
Gabe Rubio making that about as easy for a referee as possible.
And Baltimore coming out and Thornton coming in.
Yeah, good idea. Johnny Baltimore's going to have a lot of energy in this fourth quarter offensively. Braves giving him an opportunity, minute and a half now, and then the break between third and fourth quarter. Those are good looks.
Yep. Wow, Greiser. He's got 15 points. I believe he has 11 this quarter. And he just knocks it away.
Yeah, Braves right now with Walks out, with Baltimore out offensively, and they're going to get Walks back in. And they're going to get Baltimore back in.
Well, with the ball, I think you want Baltimore in there, especially if you have the ball.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And being down 6 points right now, you really can't afford to let it slip any further. You need to get a basket here. Greiser stepped out for Loveland, so they're going to give him the extended rest. I guess the Braves might be holding for one. Now Bolter commits his third there, and that's a frustration foul.
Well, Johnny doing a really good job throughout that possession, moving and finding open space. Braves unable to get him the ball in a place that's productive. Finally gets the ball out near half court, getting pressured, then looking for teammates to move and make themselves available. Didn't happen. 5 seconds being called almost. Tries to create some space. We get a foul.
And Greiser goes back in there for Loveland with the ball. That's who they want the ball in his hands.
Some fouls, Tony, you wish you could give to the whole team.
Fouls to Greiser, and we'll see if it ever leaves his hands here. Josh Young with
He's feeling it.
Wow.
Tony, he's feeling it right now.
Josh Young was right in his face, and Greiser has 17 points, and if my math is correct, that's 13 in this quarter, excuse me.
Yeah, this Loveland team strikes me as very, mentally kind of, moving in different directions. And I tell you, it's interesting, this last couple of minutes, I've not seen this team, just watching them Tuesday, all game, and then watching them tonight. I've not seen the pep in the step, a happy team, an aggressive team, a positive team. I haven't seen them like that until just the last couple of minutes. You let them get going, and I think it's a team that probably feeds on its own fire.
Greiser is the leader here. He's a senior. He's a 3-year starter, and when he's going well, I think the rest of the team really picks up. And the Braves did a good job cutting him off and switching guys on him the first half and controlled him. But now he's feeling it, and the Braves are going to have to come up with some sort of solution. Down 8. Looks like the starters for both teams are in. Toigo going to inbound it to Faust.
Yeah, a lot of options out here right now. Faust and Cox able to drive the basketball, and then 3 long guys that can shoot it or they can post it. Great job by Trey Lopez being physical. Trey Lopez standing in the lane. Guys are sitting outside the 3-point line.
Greiser misses a shot, which is news because I don't know if he missed one in the third quarter.
Yeah, Trey Lopez is going to come in and compete and see what he can do about it. Well, that's about as good a transition defense as you can play at Wyatt Walks.
Jalen Thornton made a mistake and then hustled after it and knocks it off of Tripp Willis, and the Braves get the ball. Nice box out for Loveland.
Yeah, Ben Bader doing a good job. Stay with that shot. That's a good look.
It was a little short, and that might be because he's tired. He's been playing an awful lot of minutes tonight. And Loveland in no hurry to run their offense here. They're going to burn some clock.
Yeah, Bader doing a nice job of pressuring the basketball, make them start the offense.
Trip Willis with a miss, and Jalen Thornton with a rebound. How do you get that off?
Great job by Trey Lopez to force the issue.
Let's go on Ian Cox.
Ian Cox with the foul. That's his first.
Trey Lopez shooting 2.
Give his teammates also a chance to catch their breath here while he shoots free throws. Trey having a good year from the line. Good year shooting overall.
Too hard.
These Indian Hill guards have done a great job in tough situations making free throws. Hopefully that'll get back to that case tonight.
Greiser misses, and as Baltimore goes to get it, Trip Willis tips the ball up and banks it off. So,
yeah, a lot of length, Tony. A lot of guys that can challenge at the rim. You know, you would think this would be a really good offensive rebounding team. Averaging about 30 rebounds a game, but boy, this is a team very capable of hitting the boards.
Wow. Jalen being aggressive and picking up a foul. And that's Jalen's third.
Tell you what, if you're a West Virginia football fan, you got to love watching a guy. This is not his best sport, but a guy that competes the same way in this sport that he does in football. I mean, you would never know that this isn't his first thing, his first love, because, boy, he really plays hard.
Well, his little brother Ty comes in to hopefully add some speed and athleticism here to the game. The Braves have got to pick it up. They've got the younger Mateo Lopez, and the younger Ty Thornton in the game.
Yeah, Loveland the last few minutes really exerting their will, especially around the basket. I think the Braves trying to match some of that length and athleticism.
Mateo Lopez gets one to fall to 3, and Loveland lead is 8.
Of course, Mateo Lopez and Ty Thornton, two guys that came in to score 15 points all on threes against Madeira, get the Braves back in the game.
Get a fast break. Ty Thornton, and they're calling an offensive foul. Gabe Rubio sat in there and took the punishment, and
yeah, great job by the senior Rubio with the freshman Thornton. Got to like the aggressiveness, so going to the basket. Looks like the matchup right now.
Calling a called a foul, Mateo Lopez.
Yeah, looks like the latest Brave to guard Greiser is going to be Ty Thornton.
Faust makes his first. It's a 67% shooter on the year. That's his third point of the game. And he makes them both.
Yeah, guards that shoot free throws, Tony. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, especially in the fourth quarter when you're tired.
Yep. Braves do a good job every day in practice shooting tired free throws at the end of practice. Oh, great pivot Johnny Baltimore. Johnny Baltimore doing it all parts of the floor tonight, keeping the Braves in this one.
Jalen Greiser. Right.
Really, you see the two players, Greiser and Baltimore, have both done a nice job being very deliberate and very thoughtful about where they're getting the ball.
Greiser. That's 19 for the game.
Greiser getting points against just about everybody on this Brave squad tonight.
Yeah. Blocked by Wyatt Walks, and he comes out with it. Mateo Lopez.
Sophomore to sophomore, Tony. Wyatt Walks out to Mateo Lopez. Going to hear that a lot in the future.
Greiser misses a shot, but not another one. The refs called timeout. I think they want to check his urine. He's got 21 points, and that's the first shot that he's missed since Korea.
Yeah, you know, a kid like that can make a coach look pretty good, can't they? We had that situation yesterday at Taylor, down 8 with about 3 minutes left, and Luke Folke and Antoine Peak and Robbie Gutman in that group, they can make you look pretty good.
Yeah.
In all honesty, though, I think the work that they've done, obviously, with Greiser all through the program the last few years in practice, to get him to the point where he can understand what his matchup is. Braves have thrown a lot of defenders at him in the last several minutes, and he has a different approach with each one. It's very thoughtful. He's obviously developed the skills to be able to execute it.
Yep. Well, they certainly took advantage. When the Braves have a small guard on him, they posted him down low, and when they have a bigger guy on him, they try to bring him out. And you know, the other benefit, again, if you have Thornton or Baltimore out at the three-point line, then they've got guys like Willis and Rubio that can get offensive rebounds.
Kevin Willis, Ricky Rubio, and the Braves are only down 9.
Here comes Ty Thornton. Braves have 2 sophomores and a freshman playing right now. Need to get back in the game, and coach has a lot of confidence in his really young players. Picks up the 4th foul on Alex Soth.
Nice job by Thornton, not only with the drive and to force the issue, get to the line, but boy, I tell you what, if you use the screens that he sets for you, you're going to get contact and you're going to get space. Jalen working awfully hard, tired at this point, but not a problem. Sinks that first free throw. Showing a lot of mental toughness, too.
He's got 6 points, and they're all from the line. 7 points,
Tony, when you can be good at the line like you're good in practice, in a game situation versus practice, that says a lot about mental toughness.
Oh, Mateo Lopez looked like he blocked it, but foul, and Trip Willis will be going to the line.
Yeah, Ty Thornton actually coming over and help. And that, you know, another thing we talk about with regard to just a guard that's long, not just athletic, but long.
Well, if the Braves are going to get back in it, Johnny Baltimore is a key, and Johnny just picked up his 4th foul.
Ty Thornton with an interesting year.
Missed by Trip Willis.
getting to play a lot of minutes at 2 different levels, but very capable of competing at the varsity level from a physical standpoint. It's going to do nothing but help him in the years to come when he's going to be the leader of this team at some point.
Trip Willis misses both of them, and the Braves still have a window open here with down 7 with 2.5 left. Wyatt walks. Not a bad look, and now Greiser. And that'll be a foul on be Walks or Thornton. That'll be Walks. Wyatt Walks' first foul.
So in a double bonus at this point, Tony.
Expected. Greiser's an 80% free throw shooter on the year.
Do you know, does he play another sport at Loveland?
I don't believe so. Makes both his free throws. The Braves are down 9.
Whatever you're going to do, Tony, do it well.
Shoot. Ty
Nice
Thornton
job.
misses. Baltimore gets the rebound, and he's fouled.
Love Johnny Baltimore parking down there under the basket. Opportunity to get a couple of points here, stop the clock.
That foul was on Toigo. And Johnny misses. Johnny, 79% free throw shooter on the season. Makes that Johnny's 17th point of the game. They foul Greiser. That's the wrong guy to foul.
Yeah, looking at that group on the floor, Tony,
Yeah.
any idea who you would foul?
Well, anybody but Greiser.
Yeah.
Greiser is an 80% free throw shooter in the year, and Willis is 82. Although Willis missed 2 the last trip down, but the Toigo's at 63, and
How about Cox and Faust?
yeah, Cox is just at 33.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
You know, one thing I like about Thornton is we watch Ty handle the ball. His line of sight, being able to see guys. I think you're going to see a lot from him as far as skip passes and some things the Braves, you know, can do to expand their offensive opportunities. I think you're going to see a lot from Ty Thornton, just his vision, his ability to see.
He's a splendid athlete who is going to be a superstar in both football and basketball. Well, they fouled Trip Willis, and he missed 2 the first just about a minute ago when he was at the line. But as I mentioned, he's the leading free throw shooter on this team percentage-wise, and he hits both of those. So fouled the wrong guy.
Yeah, barely a 4-possession game here.
Ty didn't need to pick up the ball at half court. There was no need for that, and an errant pass, and Loveland now has a ball with 1:12 left and up 12 points. That's the guy you wanted to foul if you were going to foul. And there's Trip Willis going back to the line. Of the 6 shots in the last 45 seconds for Trip Willis at the free throw line.
Yeah. Well, Tony, having you back on this Super Bowl weekend with the Loveland Tigers. I know you've been close to Loveland all those years, coaching against Todd Robinson.
Todd Robinson's here now. His son was a terrific player for Loveland a couple years ago, was their leading scorer and a terrific leader. And Johnny with a miss. The foul on Colton Brewer.
Now, you did not ask me who I'm rooting for in the Super Bowl.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can only take that to mean that you don't care, which is okay. It's okay, but...
well, I know you're rooting for the Bengals.
I am rooting for the Bengals, yes. Always rooting for the Bengals or the Redskins. If my Bengals or my Redskins aren't in it, I got to go with the AFC. I'm an upstart guy. I'm a new era type guy. But nope, I think we're going to look back at this and say, man, we really saw greatness. And I love every bit of it that they add to it. Love Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. And
well, Greiser leaves the game with 27 points. And Brian, I think he only had 4 at halftime, so that's 23 second-half points, and they're cheating him by a minute by taking him out. Just a great performance.
Sam Richardson with the 3.
Marietta's a very, very fortunate school to have a kid like that coming there.
Yeah, Ryan Reedy from McNicholas High School went out there this year. And that's a town that rallies around the program. They'll get a couple of thousand for every game. Beautiful arena out there, Marietta. The home of the McCoys.
It'd be nice if they had the courage to play Swarthmore, but we'll see.
Yeah, that would be a good one. John McCoy, the former Bank One executive, and trying to think, I can't recall the guy that was actually the CEO at Bank of America. So you got 2 of the biggest banks, with Chase, of course, Bank One and Chase, 2 of the biggest banks in America being run by guys that grew up in Marietta, Ohio. A little bit of trivia there for you.
And also the school of former Major League Baseball player Kent Colvey.
Yes. Not too far away from his former teammate from Portsmouth, Ohio, Al Oliver.
The Hitman.
The Hitman. Scoop.
Ian Cox, Trip Willis, and he gets fouled by Baltimore, and that's Johnny's 5th.
Well, Johnny did everything he could tonight.
He did.
And he really got the Braves off to a hot start.
And he's leaving with 17 points. But, he had a terrific start. He was his first 3 shots were threes, and he made them all, and looked like he was off to a 20-plus point. Unfortunately, Loveland was able to solve them.
Yeah, a lot of basketball left to be played for Johnny Baltimore here at Indian Hill, but it is fun to think about what's next for him. And like I said earlier, he's just going to get stronger, and his game is just going to get so many different parts to it. And we really saw it tonight. I mean, the difference between last year and this year and all the additional things, Johnny Baltimore just keeps adding to his game.
Well, Trip Willis leaves the game with 15 points.
Richardson Lewis going to get a shot here for 3. How about Richardson going in and taking the ball from Toigo? Or I'm sorry, that's not Toigo. Who is that? Sam Richardson.
Casey McCleskey.
The senior. Lewis, the senior, is going to follow him to the line.
With 0.8 of a second left, the seniors get the opportunity to practice their free throws.
How smart was Lewis to grab the rebound and force the shot at the same time?
Well, there was... Boy, gets 2 shots. Jalen Thornton and Ben Bader are still on the court.
Yeah, Jalen Thornton. You can just see the disappointment. Such a competitor.
Well, Well, that's the final score. Loveland 59 and the Braves 43.
Tony, you know, it just looks like that Loveland team did what you would expect that they would do more often, and just came out here and were really difficult to guard. A lot of great parts to that team, and of course their leader, once he got hot, the Braves just couldn't find an answer for him.
And the Braves had I believe, an 8-point lead in the with about a minute left in the second quarter, and unfortunately things fell apart for them. And give Loveland credit; they played very, very well and capitalized on the right matchups. We thank you for joining us. This is Tony Harris for Brian Shaw, the Indian Hill Television Network. The next game will be is it Friday night?
I believe that's right.
Okay.
I believe that's right.
And anyway, again, from Indian Hill Gymnasium, the final score, Loveland 59 and the Braves 43. Again, for Tony Harris and Brian Shaw, thanks for joining us. Good night and good basketball.
Good luck tomorrow, Tom.
Exclusive coverage of tonight's game on the Indian Hill Television Network has been a copyrighted presentation of the Indian Hill High School Video Department.